Hello, nice to have you join us on the news at 5, live from Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Dominic Iwiwu with the stories and reports we're tracking at the moment. A new twist has been added to the political crisis in Rivers State as members of the state's House of Assembly began an impeachment proceeding against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu. This occurred during plenary presided over by the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Amaewhule, on Thursday, 8th January 2026.
Rivers State has never had it this bad. In the entire Nigeria, Siminalayi Fubara and Professor Ngozi Odu, these are the only two people in the office at the sub-national level that are yet to present 2026 appropriation bill. The entire country. I'm sure if you go to the entire West African sub-region or even Africa, you will not find any sub-national government that has not presented an appropriation bill for 2026. Who would believe that in this 21st century, that a state like Rivers State will not have an appropriation bill either presented or passed? Nothing is holding the governor from presenting it. He chose not to. And the governor has been boasting that he will always go and meet the president for the president to call us and give us instruction. He has been boasting, he has been saying it to his followers that this assembly were nothing but toothless bulldog, that this 10 Rivers House assembly, we cannot do anything, we cannot enforce the constitution. This is a sad commentary for our democracy. Sir Siminalayi Fubara and Professor Odu, they are nothing but a threat to our nascent democracy. If they are allowed to remain in office, I don't know what will become of our democracy. And they are moving about from place to place, spending taxpayers' money without approval. Part of what led to other efforts to impeach them, first impeachment effort, second impeachment effort, has to do with refusal to present budget. Distinguished colleagues, I thank you for your contributions. We will follow this impeachment process through. The Supreme Court has confirmed that the governor has committed offenses against the Constitution. Let the course, let the law take its course. Those in favor of the prayers of this motion should indicate by saying aye. Aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it.
Now our correspondent Charles Operon brings us up to speed with happenings in Rivers State.
The Rivers State House of Assembly have just finished sitting here, and today they commenced proceedings, impeachment proceedings against the state governor Siminalayi Fubara. Now, during the sitting today, the majority leader of the House, Honorable Major Jack, brought in writing a notice of allegations of gross misconduct signed by every member of the Assembly against the governor and presented it to the Speaker. 7 items there, including a seizure of the funds meant for the running of the Assembly and the Assembly Service Commission, a destruction of the Assembly building, flouting the Supreme Court judgment on the financial autonomy of the Assembly, among others. Not long after, the Deputy Majority Leader, Honorable Linda Stewart, also brought a letter of notice of allegations of gross misconduct, this time against the Deputy Governor, with very similar allegations. So the Assembly have started impeachment proceedings relying on Section 188 against the Governor and his Deputy. It did not end there. Not long after again, the Deputy Speaker brought a notice to decline assent to the medium-term expenditure framework until the allegations raised against the governor and his deputy are investigated. Now, in his own speech and intervention, the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Martin Amaewhule, referred to the governor as a mistake and said he was a threat to democracy, and that this time around, the Assembly would not stop until they get the job done. What is this job? Apparently, they are out to impeach and remove the governor from his office. Remember, this is what started and led to the declaration of a state of emergency. It is happening again. From the River State House of Assembly quarters, Port Harcourt, Charles Oporum, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the River State government is yet to respond to allegations of gross misconduct leveled against Governor Siminalayi Fubara following the commencement of impeachment proceedings by the River State House of Assembly. As of the time of filing this report, the executive arm of government had not issued any official statement or reaction to the allegations or the impeachment move. Our correspondent made repeated efforts to obtain comments from government officials, including calls and messages to the Permanent Secretary, State Ministry of Information, Dr. Ono Sirawo, but no response to the allegations has been received yet. Over to the Federal Capital Territory, where the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is saying the Labour Party's inability to upload candidates for the 2026 Federal Capital Territory Area Council election, scheduled for 21st February 2026, is due to unresolved internal leadership disputes within the party. INEC recalls that the Supreme Court, in its judgment delivered on 4th April 2025 in Usman versus Labour Party, ruled that the tenure of the barrister Julius Abure-led National Executive Committee had expired. Despite this ruling, the Abure faction went ahead to conduct primaries for the August 2025 by-elections and the FCT Area Council election. Following INEC's decision to exclude the faction, the Labour Party filed suit number FHC ABJ 1523-2025 at the Federal High Court, Abuja. The court dismissed the suit on 15th August 2025, affirming that Barrister Julius Abure was no longer recognized as the party's national chairman and upholding INEC's position. The party thereafter instituted multiple suits in different courts seeking orders compelling INEC to issue access codes for the upload of its candidates. Although an interim ex parte order was granted by the FCT High Court, Lifecam Division on 16 December 2025, the order lapsed after 7 days and was not renewed. INEC states that there is currently no valid court order directing it to issue access codes to the Labour Party. As the matter remains before the courts, the Commission says it will respect the judicial process and continue to act in line with the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and the rule of law. The Kwara State's Governor, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, has flagged off the e-registration and revalidation of membership for the All Progressives Congress in the state. Governor Abdulrazak, who was documented as the first registrant of the party in the state, said the exercise is designed to strengthen the party and ensure accurate membership tally for planning.
The electronic registration of the All Progressives Congress party members in Kwara State is meant to ascertain the exact number of members in the state and encourage more members. The state coordinator of the exercise explains the modalities to members, including the state governor and other political office holders.
For we to harness these numbers and have accurate figure, unlike the previous registration, the party has deemed it fit that we digitalize all registration exercise. You don't need to disturb yourself writing with Bible and paper. Just meet the agent in your ward. He or she will register you under 2 minutes without wasting your time. If it exceeds 2 minutes, I am sure it will not exceed 3 minutes to fully register you as a party member.
Deputy Chief of Staff Bukola Babalola asks all party stakeholders to support the exercise, which he believes is the only way to make it successful.
We are laying a foundation to the coming 2027 election. We need to be prepared. We need to prepare more than we've been doing it. The importance of electronic registration is to afford our people everywhere in all nooks and corners of our local government and world respectively to make sure they are being captured to participate in the coming election. It is important for us to do this. There are 36 states in Nigeria, 774 local governments. And we have 874 polling stations. 99.6 million voters registered in the last election. What are we going to do better in this coming election? That's what brought about today's meeting.
Governor Abdul Razak, who is documented as the first registrant of the party in the state, reminds members that they need their national identity number to be onboarded as members of the party. He also reiterates that everyone who wishes to register as a member of the party should be accommodated.
It's truly important that we should be able to develop a system where we know all our members and we can easily reach all our members. True members, not fake members. Now, for those who have been tasked with this exercise, don't exclude anyone. We need all the members we can get. So make sure you register, not just our members, you go out and canvass for new members. This is an opportunity to canvass new members. You've seen all the work that's been done from the federal level to state and local government. Use that to market the party to make sure that we expand from where we used to be before.
Immediately after the exercise, the governor and some of his aides pay a visit to the palace of the Emir of Ilorin, Ibrahim Sulu Gambari, to receive royal blessings for the exercise.
Now, as part of plans to strengthen security across Lagos State, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Lohundare Jimo, has stated that more police officers have been deployed around the borders areas of the state. While speaking on our breakfast program, The Morning Brief, he reassured residents that the crime level in Lagos State has declined considerably.
We've been able to police Lagos to the extent that nobody can commit any major crime on the street. Even the issue of traffic robbery has gone to the lowest level. As at 4 days now, I've been reporting no serious incidents reported throughout Lagos State. It's not due to chance, it's due to a concerted effort and everything that we are putting. We are not resting on our hands to ensure that everywhere is safe. But we have ensured that we step up our deployment around all the area from Ikorodu to Ekpe to Agbowa to Ijede and the other area that are contiguous to other states. And visibly, even in the when you go to Vega, you see the Coastal Force team there. When you move in there, you see the deployment of the area command, the division along.
The Oyo State Governor's Special Advisor on Security, Fatai Osheni, has sympathized with the families of forest rangers killed in Wednesday's bandit attack. Describing the incident as a targeted attack, he said investigations are ongoing and assured that the perpetrators will be brought to justice. Mr. Osheni was a guest on our breakfast program, The Morning Brief.
Very unfortunate incident. We commiserate with the families of the people that have been killed. From the situation report that was received and intelligence that were gathered, these fellows went in there. It's a cross-border thing from Kwara State, and they were shouting La ilaha illallah as of the time they got there. They know what their target was. They went for their target. They met the people sleeping in that office. They went with dynamite and they faced their target. The investigation is ongoing. The Commissioner of Police, the Director of SSS, the Executive Assistant Security, the whole team went to the scene yesterday to do a comprehensive assessment. We'll take it up from there. We will rework our strategy, after the assessment that we've carried out, to make sure that that does not repeat itself, to make sure that those people that are involved, no matter where they are, that they are brought to justice. And Oyo State is going to do that. And we want to give that assurance to the good people of Oyo State that without any coloration, we're not looking at color, we're not looking at wherever they come from. They are bandits, they are terrorists, and Oyo State will go all out for them.
You're watching the news at 5 live on Channels Television. Still ahead, students in Niger State are being called to shun drug abuse. That and more when we come back. Welcome back. As the Harmattan season sets in across the country, the Federal Fire Service is assuring Nigerians and all residents that the service is being repositioned for sustained operational readiness for effective public safety. Speaking in Abuja at the decoration of senior officers of the service, the Controller General of the service, Mr. Olumode Adeyemi, says the repositioning of the Federal Fire Service under his administration is aimed at ensuring effective service delivery across the country. The Controller General adds that the service is working towards improving its response time to emergency situations.
I assumed office as the Controller General of Federal Fire Service on 14th August 2025. As the PRO have said, I came to office with nearly 2 decades of frontline firefighting, experience in emergency response, and administrative experience, drawn from both FCT Fire Service and Federal Fire Service. Those years shaped my understanding of dangers our officers face, the expectation of the public from fire service, and the urgency of the reform. From day one, my focus has been clear and simple: to reposition the Federal Fire Service for efficiency, sustain operational readiness, and effective public safety delivery in line with the renewed hope agenda of this administration.
Now, Nigerian students have been urged to shun drug abuse and other social vices in order to grow into responsible future leaders. This call was made at a public lecture organized by the Students' Wing of the Coalition of Northern Groups in Minna, Niger State. The lecture themed Building Responsible Student Leadership, Combating Drug Abuse, Thuggery, Hate Speech, and Campus Disunity through Positive Values and Mentorship. It was organized by the Students' Wing of the Coalition of Northern Groups, Niger State Chapter.
Concern over rising drug abuse and social vices in Nigerian campuses takes center stage in Minna, the Niger State capital, as students, academics, and security agencies converge for a one-day public lecture on combating drug abuse, thuggery, hate speech, and campus disunity through positive values and mentorship. The event was organized by the Students' Wing of the Coalition of Northern Groups, Niger State Chapter.
We are here in Minna because we believe that there are so many on and offs that are bedeviling the progress of our region. We are here in Minna so that at least we will conscientize the students. We will tell them what they're supposed to do, and we give them what the history has for this country, because we believe that campuses are not only meant for learning, but they are the recruitment ground where future leaders are being recruited in this country.
This lecture serves as an avenue to inspire self-reflection among students, strengthen their moral courage, and remind them that campuses are not just centers of learning, but training grounds for future leaders of this nation.
We also ensured, that we provided them with capacity building, both within the country and outside the country. A number of times, we have supported them or sponsored them to Obasanjo Leadership Center, where they were trained, on how to become effective and, responsible, student leaders. And sometimes some of those trainings do take place outside the country. At one time, I think it was in India. At another time, it was in Rwanda. We ensured that all such fora, that were, meant for, if you like, building the character, of the leadership of our student unions, the university management ensure that we supported them.
It's believed that negative behavior among students is often influenced by the level of drug use and abuse by Nigerian students. NDLEA records say 50% of university students, both on and off campus, are involved in drug abuse, a situation that has prompted increased raids around university environments.
Current studies indicate that about 50% of students are involved in drug use. And I also gave a global context that a report by the UNODC indicates that the global prevalence stands at about 5.6%, while the Nigerian context is estimated to be about 14.4%. Then in Nigeria is 14.4%. Then North Central Nigeria is also estimated to be 10%. So among the control strategies we also proposed here today are primary prevention strategies.
As stakeholders intensify calls for mentorship, moral values and responsible leadership, participants say addressing drug abuse on campuses remains critical to securing the future of Nigeria's next generation of leaders.
On business news, global professional services firm KPMG has raised concerns over alleged discrepancies and gaps in Nigeria's newly implemented tax laws. In a statement posted on its website, KPMG warns that poor clarity over the new tax legislation could trigger legal disputes and lead to capital flight from the country's economy. The accounting firm, which is recognized as one of the big four globally, professional services networks, notes that while the reforms aim to broaden the tax base, improve compliance and boost government revenue, unclear provisions and overlapping interpretations could create uncertainty for businesses and investors. Meanwhile, KPMG urges policymakers to issue detailed regulations, strengthen dispute resolution mechanisms, and engage the private sector to ensure the reforms support growth, investment confidence, and long-term fiscal sustainability. Nigeria's stock market has been ranked as the third highest in Africa by the number of listed companies, about 156 of them, trailing the Egyptian Stock Exchange at 245 and South Africa's Johannesburg Stock Exchange with 204. And this is according to the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. A report by the OECD list mentioned other countries in the top 10 to include Mauritius with 94, Tunisia at 79, Kenya with 61, Zimbabwe at 60, Cote d'Ivoire with 45, Ghana with 29, and Botswana with 23. On Wednesday this week, the domestic stock markets crossed and surpassed an historic high of 160,000 level, with an all-time high equities capitalization of 102 trillion naira, largely due to price appreciation for high-value equities from consumer goods, industrial goods, and banking sector stocks. Meanwhile, recent report by Nigeria's central bank projects that the domestic stock market is expected to remain bullish in 2026, supported by recapitalization exercise, rising investor confidence, and other policy measures aimed at fostering growth. The tourism sector in Nigeria continues to face significant challenges, with airlines struggling to meet operational demands. According to the Executive Director of the African Travel Commission, Mr. Lucky George, many carriers lack the capacity to operate effectively, limiting the growth and potential of the nation's travel and tourism industry. He was a guest on Business Morning.
The point we're making here is that the airlines lack the capacity. With all due respect, these guys are working under they're operating in a very difficult environment. But where is the capacity? The capacity is not there. You book your flight for morning flight or late morning flight, you will not get to your destination until about sometimes 12 midnight, because the same aircraft will have to do 60 degrees across the country. And at the end of the day, all the passengers that have been booked for earlier flights are subjected to what I would call inhuman treatment when it comes to what we do in the travel industry, that we're trying to give experience to people. We want you to get to your destination as early as possible, and you fly home very late. We operate one of the most expensive airfare structure in Africa. If you buy a ticket from Lagos to Abuja, for instance, if you look at the breakdown of the ticket, you will see what the airline will tell you, the XY or the YQ or whatever they call it, fuel surcharge. If you buy a ticket for 300,000 naira, you probably see that 200,000 out of the money goes to the airline directly. Then the base fare, which they call the actual fare, will be about 60,000 naira, and about 40,000 naira will be for tax. So they are cashing out on daily basis.
The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has officially announced that it will unveil the World Economic Outlook update on Monday, 19th January 2026, providing fresh global growth forecasts and assessments of the international economic landscape. According to the IMF's announcement, the press briefing will take place at 10:30 a.m. Central European Time, that's 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time in Brussels, Belgium, at the National Bank of Belgium Auditorium. Leading IMF economists, including Pierre-Olivier Groniches, chief economist, along with Petria Cueva Brooks and Dennis Egan, are scheduled to present key findings and projections for global output, inflation, trade, and policy prospects. The WEO report is one of the IMF's flagship publications and serves as a widely watched barometer of the global economy. And that's where we drop the anchor on this edition of News at 5. I'm Dominic Iwiwo. Up next is The World Today.